Well, it's Module 3, and I'd like to talk to you about the critical thinking practicum that you did in Module 2. That's an important assignment. As I've told you before, it's one of 3 assignments that you're going to have that are each 5 points. So the 15 points is 15% of your grade. So this is a fairly big assignment in a classroom that doesn't have a whole lot of points on assignments, because you know all of you should know by now, I hate math. Anything with more than 2 numbers is not on my list. So thank you for tolerating that. But I'm going to keep that assignment open, and I'm going to give you another try at it. I'm going to talk about it before you go back and look at it. And I haven't even read all of them, but I've read enough of them to know that I don't want you to fail the assignment. I want you to understand what that assignment is about. First of all, let's talk about psychosocial rehabilitation and what it is. For most of you, you've had 142 where we define psychosocial rehabilitation and what makes it different from what working with mentally ill people has been in the past. Not just mentally ill, but people who have some sorts of serious problems that are affecting their life in a very serious way. Not that we don't all have problems, but some are more serious than others, and that's what we're talking about. In this instance, you were given a young woman with a whole lot of information about her and told you're a case manager who has been asked to handle her. But you're supposed to be a case manager who is operating from a psychosocial rehabilitation model. So the first thing that I ask you is, what do you do? You don't come prepared with a whole list of things that you want to do or that you're going to do. The first thing you do is you contact the client. You either go to them or see if they are able to come to you. And sometimes you have to get up and actually go and find somebody. You have to go to their door and knock on it and, schedule a time to meet with them, even find transportation to get them to where you're going to meet with them. And if not, have somebody else do it for you. But somehow you're going to contact the client. That's the first thing that you're going to do after you have perused the information that you have and have a general idea about who is this person? Who am I going to see? Once you have met with the person, psychosocial rehabilitation is client-centered. It's about helping the individual learn to be functional in society, of learning to take pride in themselves, of learning to be independent, if you will, and to be able to handle their disability along with being able to tie their shoes, go to the bank, maybe go to the library, get a part-time job, whatever their needs are. But you're not going to tell them what their needs are. They're going to work with you, and they're going to tell you what they think is important. And then you are going to help them meet those needs. That's what you need to remember when you do this. So the first thing that you're going to do is what all good counselors should do when they meet with somebody. They say, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm really glad to meet you. What are we going to do today? What is it that I can do to help you?" Now, you already know, in this person's case, a whole lot. And you could have made some phone calls to see if there's beds available somewhere, if the person's homeless, whatever you needed to do. You know, but they don't. So the person says to you, "I don't want your home that you want me to go and live in. I'd rather be homeless." And you're going to say, "Well, you can't do that." They sure can, and that's their choice. Maybe they like living in the back seat of their car, at least for the present time. You don't tell them what they want, but you know a lot about them. So before you come with a whole list of agencies when you meet with them, you're going to develop with them what the plan is. And it's their plan, not your plan. The techniques of counseling and interacting mean that you often make suggestions because you know what is available out there, because you did your homework. You can say, "How would you like to meet with somebody from, let's say, United Samaritans?" Because you can get clothing, you can get food, and perhaps that's something that would be a help to you. Would that be something you would be interested in? Rather than saying, I'm going to send you to these places. You don't just send a person in psychosocial. They may never get there, and as farthest they're ever going to get from you is to the door of your office and leave. So you need to build the plan with them, with you. You write down what they say. That your talent it will be how well you can help them understand what their options are and get them involved. To say, how about if I make a phone call right now to, let's say, somebody at United Samaritans and see if they are giving out food today and if you can go and get some. And then, do you want to take a ride over there with me and see where it is and all that kind of thing. One of the reasons why we always did a field trip to Houston Family Resource Center, and I've told some of you this, is because it actually operates as a psychosocial type of institution. One of the things they discovered when they started this resource center, it serves all of South County, Stanislaus County. Some of you are in Sacramento County, and I haven't been able to find anything that was quite the same up there. But there are models everywhere, but I use this one as a model. They found that the biggest mental illness or problem that we have in South County is the same as the entire United States, depression. And part of that is that the South County and Stanislaus has a lot of little tiny towns that have no transportation, no recreational facilities, and no outlet for all of these women who are stay-at-home women. They're either moms who just stay at home, or for some reason they're older and they have no place to go, and so they're kind of lonely. In LaGrange, it's really hard to even get a phone signal, so you don't even get to go on the telephone and have that kind of opportunity. So one of the things they did was they started a Zumba class at one of the churches in Denair. And it took off for some reason. And all of a sudden we have all these Zumba classes all over South County. And depression rates have gone way down. Need for services for depression. Because all of these women, over 600 of them, are out there doing Zumba dancing. And bless their hearts, because I'm not doing it. But anyway, they do it, and they have met each other. They've made friends, and they have found that there are other people who think like they do and who are willing to listen to them and share lots of things. And they've started a cooking group. They've started a sewing group. They've also got a computer group going. There's a computer lab that they're able to use in Houston. They teach each other, and it's been remarkable the positive things that have happened out of that facility. But you wouldn't just walk up to somebody's door and say, hey, have I got a Zumba class for you? And you aren't going to be depressed anymore. What you do is you talk to somebody and say, how does it feel to be all alone in your home all the time and not be able to get out? You seem to have some problems with that. And you get a conversation going, because that's what counseling is a conversation with someone else. And you get the information from them about what their needs are. And you might even say, hey, one of us will go to that dance class with you, or we'll have somebody call you and come and pick you up, or whatever it is that you're going to do to enable them to be able to have that positive experience. So when you meet with this girl, you know that she was in special education early in school. Well, you might have her sign a release of information, because the public schools have to keep that special ed record. That's one of the mandated records that we have to have in our schools. You can't throw them away. Almost everything else gets thrown away, except for a name and address and phone number of the last place that was your residence. So that record is there, and you can go back always and get a copy of it. But you can't just go and get it. The person can go and get it, or you can get a release from them and go and ask if you can get a copy. The only thing that does for you is it tells you, by looking at it, if you legally have the right to do what you do, if the person who's an adult allows you to do so, is what kind of disability they have. What were they? Were they, learning handicapped in some way? Were they visually handicapped, hearing handicapped? Whatever it is. And those files also have testing that was done, because you aren't in special ed without testing. So it can give you a lot of information to know what kind of services this person might need and that they might not understand. So as you hear me talking, what I'm saying to you is, what? What am I telling you about your answers? This is not a hard assignment. It's a psychosocial way of approaching a person and how you're going to handle that kind of case management. It's different. And I do expect you to know what the resources are. And nothing like a phone book to start. In the yellow pages of the phone book, right in the very middle of it, under community agencies, you're going to find about 100 agencies that deal in your county, your community, with social problems, with all kinds of issues, with all kinds of activities of people who help other people, from the area aging to helping with the elderly to child protective services. All of those kinds of things are listed, and not everything. And you can also do a Google search. So even if you live in Placer County, you can still do a Google search of Stanislaus County, if you will, but I don't want you to. I want you to do it for your own county. What's out there? What's out there for people? Would you really know where to send somebody? And some of you, I know, had some really good ideas, but you had it all planned that that's where they were going to go. And a lot of you had it all planned for them to attend MJC. What if they're not capable of attending MJC? What if they don't want to go to school? What if they aren't able to pass the GED? Those are the kinds of things that you might want to know before you go with your prepared list to set somebody up. But the technique is always, in psychosocial rehabilitation, the individual helps direct their plan. They're the ones who are going to tell you what they want. And you have the right to help them make those decisions because you know what you're talking about. Let me know. I'm opening the assignment back up. So before I grade them, I want you to go back in and take a look and see if you'd like to change it. And feel free to go in and do that. Thanks.